How do you justify this policy?
It's zero tolerance. I don't think you have to justify it. It's a crime to come across illegally, and children get separated. I mean, I hate to say it, that's the law, and he's enforcing the law.
Nearly 200 minors a day are joining the thousands detained after crossing the border into the United States, many of them fleeing unsafe homes, many of them ripped from their parents. And Steve Bannon, who says he speaks for the president's base, says there's nothing to justify. Joining our conversation now, Heidi Przybyla, national political reporter for NBC News. Heidi, what are you picking up from your sources about the ripple effects? We made a list, and it took us about 1.5 seconds of the Republicans who've spoken up. Susan Collins, Ben Sasse, Lindsey Graham, Orrin Hatch, sort of, and Speaker Ryan. Anybody else?
And Lindsey
bothered?
Graham was just again at the stakeout in the Senate, re-emphasizing that at any time the president can stop this by picking up the phone. I'm also monitoring how this, frankly, is playing out on Fox News and watching some of the anchors there repeatedly correct lawmakers who are coming on and calling this the law. I'm picking up actually a subtle hint of panic by some of these members, because you are starting to get more what we call in the world of journalism color coming out of these holding pens. Nicole, you just saw coming across the web a ProPublica audio, and I'm sure you're going to play it at some point, but it is heart-wrenching. It has little children, and you can tell any mother, any person can tell the sound of a baby wailing. Some of them crying so hard that they're gasping for breath, being separated from their parents. So we're starting to get more details and color coming out of these holding areas. And there is no Republican who wants to stand behind this policy. And that is why you're seeing the president distort this and say that this is the Democrats forcing him to do this. Let me break that down for you. The president is trying to put this off on the Democrats because he is using this as leverage, as a negotiating tool. I take you back to earlier this year, last year, when the president canceled DACA in order to use that program as leverage in order to get his wall. That didn't work. The courts intervened. And so we saw in April of this year, the administration now enact a new policy of criminalizing asylum seekers, which by then necessitates them being separated from their children.
Michael Steele, I feel stupid for how often I ask this question, but what's wrong with the Republicans?
They've been trumpetized. they've taken the Kool-Aid.
So they're traumatizing 2-year-olds?
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality of it is they think from a base standpoint, and this is what I go back to, I don't think this is as much concern for a lot of the hardcore Trump base out there. They like this. They think this is something, I mean, they don't like the fact that these folks are coming here. They think that they're...
But these are not illegal. These, I mean, do people know?
That's why the president has characterized it the way he has. He has taken the concept of asylum, which is one form of legal response by the United States, and merged it into a criminal action coming over the border illegally, which is a different response by the federal government. He's made them both the same. So there's no difference in this administration's point of view between someone who's running away from persecution, seeking asylum, bringing their children to a safer space, than someone who gets up this morning and says, I'm going to go steal a job in the United States and going to cross the border illegally.
And even those people commit fewer crimes than people born here. Let me show you. I guess the other thing is this was a plan hiding in plain sight. They said they wanted to do this, and now they're doing it. So any walk back would be remarkable. This was their plan all along. Let's watch.
Our Department of Homeland Security personnel going to separate the children from their moms and dads?
Yes, I am considering, in order to deter more movement along this terribly dangerous network, I am considering exactly that.
If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
What do you say to people who worry about the impact of separating parents and children in that situation?
Don't break the law. I mean, that's why they're separated, because they're breaking the law.
Eli?
I mean, no apologies, right? That is them saying, look, this is our policy, and here's why. We think it's a deterrent. And the fact that it's unnecessarily cruel to these children
but these are not illegal.
I mean, these are people who are backing it that you just heard there.
Do you think anyone is
smuggling they're not. Most of these folks aren't smuggling in children in a in a way where like these children are at risk from their parents. To your point, they're either coming in for asylum or they're just together. And what's really amazing to me is Trump just acts as though he's like powerless to do anything about this, right? This is the one thing he can't, in his mind, he can't do. And he's blaming the Democrats.
He can only do it if the Democrats help him do it.
Right, as if the House doesn't, I mean, they've got enough Republicans in the House to do, to do, if they needed to do anything legislatively, they don't. And
you've got, so I guess I want to talk about weakness and smallness. For a guy so obsessed with, the size of everything, I mean, this is just such an extraordinary display of political impotence, political powerlessness, of small man, small hands, small everything. Why is he so into it?
But because it's power for him.
Over whom? 2-year-olds?
Over the whole system. I mean, as Eli noted, that circle within the White House has become a circle within a circle within a circle. I mean, the smaller that crowd around him becomes, the more power the president is able to exercise, because the lines to sort of break it up and to sort of control the outcome. I mean, even you got the chief of staff saying, well, I'm considering this. You would think that there would be some kind of check inside the system that goes, wait a minute, I don't know if this is really going to play well on TV every night.
But not even play well. I mean, how about, like, I don't know if this is going to go well. I mean, I don't know if we're going to traumatize a generation of children who came to the country seeking asylum. I mean, I don't know if he's ever been to the Statue of Liberty. I'm guessing he doesn't know what it says. But is there no one around him who can say this is the most un-American, politically powerless, petty, small, impotent thing a president of this country could ever do?
Well, let's tell them what Lady Liberty says. She says, bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. And in bold, she is called Mother of Exiles. And that is why this issue, I have to beg to differ just a little bit with Michael. I think Republicans actually are very nervous in terms of how this is going to play out, because we, the media, are going to keep pushing for disclosure, and we're going to keep pushing to get inside those facilities, and more of those tapes are going to come forward. And that's why you have such a unique coalition. You have the American Academy of Pediatrics, the head of that, saying this is basically tantamount to child abuse. You have the religious community uniting, Catholic bishops, the Methodist Church, the Southern Baptist Convention, all condemning this. And frankly, a lot of Republican women, with Laura Bush leading the way on this, I think are being made to feel very uncomfortable. And so, no, politically it's not going to play out well, but also in terms of the numbers, the government, DHS itself, is now estimating that we could get up to 20,000 by August being held like this. It is not going to be pretty once these facilities reach capacity and overcapacity, given the conditions that they're already living in, sleeping on cement block floors that they're calling the icebox.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.